Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about A White Heron by Sarah Ornichevit. Your narrator is Rheynansya Ilmira Banyu as a delegation of Smpit Ibnu Abbas. The forest was full of shadows as a little girl running through it to get back to her grandmother's home. She wondered if her grandmother would be mad at her because she was so late. It was already 8 o'clock and she had never been alone in the forest as late as this. This evening, it had taken her longer than usual to find her cow. As she waited the cow to drink at a small stream, she began to think how it was only a year ago since her grandmother had chosen her to help her farm environment. Suddenly, the air was cut by a sharp whistle. However, it's not a whistle of a friendly bird. It's a whistle of a person. Scared, Sylvie then ran away and hid in the bushes. But she was too late. Hello, little girl. How far is it to the main road? Sylvie then looked to the person in front of her. She was trembling. It was a tall guy carrying a gun. She then whispered, 2 miles. The young man then began walking with her as she followed her cow to the farmhouse. Well, I've been hunting for birds, but I lost my way. Do you think I can spend the night in your house? But Sylvie was only silent. She was relieved that she could see her grandmother standing in front of the farmhouse. As she arrived at the house, they stopped. The guy then put out his gun and explained all his problems to Sylvie's grandmother. Of course, you can stay with us for a while. We don't have much, but we can share it to you. Sylvie, get a plate for the gentleman. After they ate, they all sat outside. The young man explained that he was a scientist that collected birds. I shoot and stuff them with special chemicals and preserve them. I have more than 100 different kinds of birds in my study at home. Oh, is that so? Sylvie knows a lot about the birds too. The wild animals come and eat bread right out of her hands. The young man seemed really interested. Really? So maybe you can help me to find the white heron I seen like 2 days ago. It was a strange animal. Its feather is white. Have you seen it? I will give $10 to anyone who shows me the white heron. Later that night, Sylvie dreamed about wonderful things she could buy for her and her grandmother from that $10. The next day, she spent her time with the young man talking about the birds in the forest. But Sylvie's heart would be much better if the guy left the gun in her house. But instead, he shoot and kill all the birds that he liked. Sylvie doesn't know why did he do that. It's cruel. Later that night, Sylvie come out from her house and go to an ancient pine tree, a tall and big one. Her plan is to climb that tree and see where is the nest of the white heron. So then she did it. With her bare feet and little fingers, she climbed the tree. Her hands were bleeding, but she doesn't care. The sun begins to rise from the east, and her face looked like a pale star when, at last, she finally reached the tree, the branch of the pine tree. Suddenly, she caught something white that grew larger and larger. A bird with broad white wings and slender long necks flew across the sky. She was really amazed. It was the white heron. The white heron then landed on the branch below her. She feels really amazed by that white heron. She then carefully climbed down the tree and go back to the farmhouse. About an hour later, she finally arrived. Her grandmother was really angry. Where had she been? But the young man was happy. He knows that Sylvie had found and seen the white heron. And it's time for Sylvie to tell him about the secret. But Sylvie was only silent. She could not speak. She could not tell about the white heron and give its life away. The young man then went away that day, disappointed. That's all from the story. This story about the white herons tell us that we must not kill, we must not hurt or harm any animals. They are a part of our family. We live in the same planet, Earth. People nowadays would love to kill and hurt them, like the young man earlier. But together, we could save this planet. We could rewild the jungle and save our planet. That's all for me. Thank you for listening and sorry for all of my mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.